How did I get into speaking? Well, how did I get into speaking? I was at this church in Gainesville, just attending, trying to, get back right with God because I grew up in the church because of my mom. She was a Pentecostal pastor for 30 years. So at that stage of my life, at 25, things really weren't going right the way I expected them to go right. So I just felt like I was out of place. I feel like God was punishing me. So I decided to get back in church. So I joined this ministry, this young ministry at the time. And, I didn't have any intentions on really speaking at that moment. But what I can remember is I had been going to the church for about 2, 3 months. And the pastor stepped to me and my friend that was there with me, Mike, my business partner that was there with me. And he asked us to go to ministerial classes. So at first I kind of shied away with it because I never wanted to be a pastor. I never wanted to do ministry on that type of level, that type of scale. I didn't mind serving the church as far as like cleaning up and, doing things like that, making sure the equipment worked, make sure the grass is cut. Not really so much getting in front of people because I always had a fear. I always was afraid of talking in front of people. I never was good at it. Always, my mind would always go blank when I get in front of a crowd. I get nervous and I'll get scared. So something that I never, really wanted to. Something that I never really wanted to do in my life was speak. So we went to ministerial classes, and he was teaching us how to write an outline for the sermon. He was teaching us, certain scriptures, what certain things mean. He was teaching us how to use a concordance on looking up like different verbiage, different terminology, and just really helping us understand the Greek language for it and giving us a basic doctrine of theology from, I guess, from a Baptist perspective. That's where he was from. So after we got done with the ministerial classes, one, I think one Wednesday afternoon, he approached me and he asked me, can I speak on Sunday? Now, mind you, like I said before, it wasn't my intentions to speak, so I got kind of nervous. I was really afraid, even though the church really wasn't that big. There was only about 20 people there, but that wasn't the point. I didn't want to get up in front of anybody, trying to, motivate them, trying to inspire them when I'm trying to inspire and motivate myself. So by me not wanting to let him down, I went ahead and did it. I said, sure, I'll do it. I didn't want to disappoint him, even though I was afraid. Um, I said I was going to face my fears. So that's what I did. I faced my fears, something that I was really afraid of, something that I was scared to do. So that Thursday I went home and, I've been reading some things from Job. I came from Job. And, just jotting some stuff down. I really didn't know how to bring it together. I was just going off based off what I see and how I see other people doing it, how other people are doing it. And I think the name of the sermon was All is Not Lost. All is not lost, simply, from the simple fact that sometimes that, God will take you through a trial period where he snatches everything away from you. But in your carnal mindset, you look at the situation, you look at the picture, and you tell yourself, well, dang, I lost everything. And you have that emptiness inside, and you feel like there is no hope. But then when I read Job, Job lost everything. He lost his kids. He lost all his wealth because Job was a wealthy man. God really blessed his hands and blessed his household to the point that the enemy will try you when he feels like it's easy to serve God. when you have everything. In some cases it is. It makes life a little easier when things are comfortable. So sometimes God shake things up a little bit. He shake things up a little bit. And I came from that perspective that all is not lost when you put God in the mix, or when God is the author of it, because God was the author of Job's tribulations. He is the author of Job's trials. So sometimes God will put you in a situation to see, do you serve him for him, or do you serve him for things and materialistic things? So I prepared. I even called my family. I invited my family to come down because they never heard me speak. I never thought I would be speaking. So they came down from Sanford, Florida to come speak. And I felt pretty good that morning. Got up. My family was there and put on my clothes, driving to the church. I felt motivated and things like that. So when we got into church, you know, I still was, I was all right until it was that time for me to go speak. Then I started getting butterflies. I got really nervous. So when he called me up, I was shaking just a little bit. Like, man, I was shaking a lot. So I got to the podium, said a prayer, opened my Bible up. I read my scripture, let them know my subject. And it was at that point that I was trying not to look at my notes, and I was trying to remember it, because I didn't want to look down, look up, look down, look up, look down, up. But when I look up, I forgot everything that I was about to say. I forgot everything that I was about to say. So then when I did start talking, I was rushing, and oh my God, it was a mess in my mind. So when I did look at the notes, I kind of calmed down a little bit, and I delivered the message, and it had me crying a little bit. I did shed a little tear because what I was speaking about, how God would take you through certain things, and he'll put people in your life to carry you. Sometimes some people come into your life to talk negative about the situation because they feel that you did something wrong, or they don't understand why you're going through this, so they keep saying that you did this, but you haven't did anything, things like that. And just speaking about my own life and my own little trials and situations that I went through, so I came from that perspective, shared my own personal story about going through my own issues and things like that. But God brought me out, and he restored me, and he added value back to my life. So after I got done, I sat down. But when I was up there, it felt like I was up there for about an hour and a half. No, not an hour and a half, but about an hour. But when I sat down, only 15 minutes went by, and it kind of blew my mind because I thought I was up there for a while. I hadn't got the crowd into it. I thought I delivered it and gave my points, and delivered the best way I know how. But it was at that point that I said, man, I really love doing that, even though I suck at it. But I told myself I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get better. So the more I started doing it, the better I got. And I got more comfortable with it. Had a little bit more understanding of the word. And then when I moved back to Sanford, Florida, that's when I got into the motivational speaking side. Because I was coaching the track team at Seminole High School, and I'll find things, to motivate them with, and I will see how they responded well to it. They performed well, so I'm like, So that made me want to actually go speak to high school students, and I eventually did that, and I love doing that. I love helping kids out. I love depositing them in their life, and just share my own personal story with them, and to motivate them, to inspire them to want to even do better with their own personal lives. So that's how I got into motivational speaking.
Wow, that is awesome. So, kind of talk about some of the plans that you have this year.
Well, the plans that I have this year, I have a conference that's coming up. We're doing a lot of conferences this year. We have one up in March. We have one in April. We're going to be scheduling one in June and July. It's called the Limitless Tour. I'm working on my mixtape Volume 3. That's going to be coming out, and I'm working on my own personal clothing attire as well. Then I got a couple of books that's supposed to be coming out. One's supposed to be coming out this year, and one's going to be coming out next year. So, I got a lot of things that I'm doing. God's really been, blessing me. Not only that, I'm doing ministry as well. So I do that as well. To really the spirituality side, speaking in people's lives spiritually, because you need God. You can't really do anything without God. That's my perspective, because in my faith. So, those are some of the projects that I have coming up, you know.
Wow, you got a lot of things planned. So tell me, what's some of your biggest challenges that you have?
One of my biggest challenge probably growing up was probably confidence. I didn't have a lot of confidence growing up. I don't know why. I didn't have a lot of confidence. That's probably one of my biggest challenges. I didn't think I was smart enough. I didn't think I was good enough to really do what I'm doing now, to turn it into, this type of level of business where I'm getting a lot of notoriety. So I think that's the number one thing that we have to have in life. You got to have confidence. The first thing, you need to have God on your side. That's the first thing. You have to have confidence, and you have to believe in the talents and the gifts that God is placed inside of you. And by my own personal experience, what I can tell you, that sometimes God will put you in a situation for that situation can build you. The situation is not designed to kill you, but the situation is to enhance your gift, to enhance your talent, to get you stronger, to give you the experience of going through and weathering a storm. That way you can stand. Because I've always been a firm believer, you can't really speak into somebody's life if you never been through anything, if you never done with anything. So I think that was my biggest challenge, probably confidence. But now I have all the confidence in the world, because I done overcame so much, and I'm still overcoming, different things. So you just got to keep moving forward. You can't stop. You can't complain about it. You can't cry about it. You just got to trust that God knows what He's doing, and I just believe that God knows what He's doing, that He's going to get me even further and further away, because I have a lot of ideas as well, and I know me and my brother, we're working on a project together. I'm not going to get into details with that until we actually finish what we're doing. Then we'll let you guys know what we're doing.
Cool. So tell me, what motivates George Barriner?
The thing that motivates me is seeing other people shifting their life around. I see other people changing. Just to mentor a child that was in like a bad school, or a child that got behavior issues, or a child that's upset or frustrated because their parents don't understand. Just seeing growth in that brings me joy, that brings me happiness, because I can sit back and I can say that I did my job by mentoring them and guiding them through the rough patches in their life, for them to go on to college and to be successful. And I always tell them to help someone else out, to motivate somebody else. Like somebody help you, go back and help somebody else. And I think that's what we as successful people need to do. Go back where you're from, to deposit them in the younger generation, to let them know, hey, we care. We've been in your boat. We've been in your shoes. We had to face the same issues, some of the same issues, because we know every generation is different, especially with technology now. Some things that they have now, we really didn't have back then, to distract us like they do now. And now, both parents have to work. Some live in a single home, some live in a two-parent home, some stay with grandparents, but everyone has to survive. Everybody got to work. Everybody got to pay bills. So someone's going to lack, and 9 times out of 10, it'd be the child. So they just need attention. So if you can get your child, a mentor or a coach, or keep them busy in sports, because that would help me out of the street sports. I ran track in high school, and that really kept me out in a lot of trouble. All right, man, I appreciate it for coming by.